Joining me in the studio tonight to discuss self-confidence and youth are my guests. Allow me first to welcome them all. Reem Ismail, a personal development trainer and life coach. Thank you very much for being with us. Mustafa Marzoui, a computer engineer. A very warm welcome. Sarah El-Warra'i, a recruitment specialist. And our youngest, Rania Nefa, a journalism and law student. Thank you very much for being with us. So we're talking about self-confidence. This is a big word, and maybe a lot of people don't really realize what self-confidence is all about. So maybe you can start off with that.
I'd like to, first start off by explaining what self-confidence is before, getting into details. And people, they keep saying, I want to be confident, you have to be confident, we have to be confident, and they don't really understand what it is that they have to be, Self-confidence is simply a set of beliefs that you have about yourself, okay? Whether it's good or bad, you know what you have. And if you're not sure what you have, you're going to feel bad every time. So if I tell you you are a failure, okay, and you know you're not, it's not going to affect you. But if you're not, if you have a doubt that you are, it's going to hurt you every time. So unless you know you're a loser, and I tell you you're a failure, and it's not going to be fine. But you're going to go
that's right.
Well, I know I'm a failure, So you have to know what you are, and not let people tell you who you are.
But it could be, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. What if I know, like you've said, hypothetically speaking, that I am a failure, and you're actually accentuating this notion? Then what?
Then you have to start taking action to change it, or that in itself is going to affect your self-confidence.
Even more negatively.
Yes,
okay, Mustafa, how do you perceive self-confidence?
Self-confidence is knowing that nothing is impossible. Impossible is nothing is one of the slogans that many companies use maybe to encourage people to trust their product, yet it is something you need to encourage yourself to trust yourself. By knowing that impossible is nothing. You can do anything. You can overcome anything and maybe conquer anything. You just have to trust yourself.
If you realize that you are actually capable of doing things, but you get into that one situation where you fail or you try.
Or you get stuck. Well, the thing is, if you see things as failure, then it's going to be failure. But if you see it as a feedback, it's going to be a huge difference to you. Okay, this came out this way. Okay, this is negative. I don't want it to be like me. What can I do to amend my plan to make it to what I really want? And you start working on your plan and actually get to the dream that you are seeking out. Eventually, by changing the steps that you're taking, maybe the steps that you took before wasn't working that much for you. So you change it, and eventually you're gonna make it sooner or later.
What do you think about that, Rania? Do you believe? Do you agree with the various definitions of self-confidence?
Yes, definitely. I agree with Reem. Like, self-confidence is actually just making a positive impression on others. Like, you can reflect that through everything you do, the way you talk, the way you walk, like facial gestures, like everything you do just reflects whether you're confident or not. So sometimes you can just believe in yourself for something very little. If you can play music no one likes but yourself, this is confidence. If you just like to dress something and people don't like it but you like it, this is self-confidence. So you have to worry about what you like first of all, about starting to worry what other people think about it. You have to just like what you're doing first and then convince others to like it.
That's quite an interesting notion, because if you actually follow that advice, then you'll be too self-confident to even go against the current and against the community or society you're living in. So where do you draw the line? I mean, it definitely can step over others. It could be others' rights, others' tastes, others' everything. What do you think about that?
I think you should always listen to people, believe in what you think is right, respect other people's opinion. If it's true, then you have to be flexible enough to change it so you develop yourself. If it's wrong, then you know what's right. You start giving advice.
But sometimes when you're too self-confident, you don't really see that you're going to do anything wrong.
You see, too self-confident, here people analyze it wrong. Too self-confident is knowing yourself too well, okay? And knowing yourself too well does not change the fact that you could listen to people and amend the ideas that you have. People start to see too sure of yourself has nothing to do with not listening to other people. Not listening to other people is just not listening to other people, Too self-assured of yourself is a person who knows well who they are and are able to listen to other people and actually amending themselves because they know, it's fine to change myself and become even better,
Do you agree with this idea, Musda, that actually there are no lines to be drawn between self-confidence, too sure of yourself, going against the current?
Actually, part of being self-confident is knowing what you need to do more, to be more self-confident, knowing that you need to learn more, to add up to your life experiences. Always make use of everything that happens around you. You don't have to fall in the same hole to know that you're not supposed to step on this area. Maybe someone falling in this hole teaches you not to step on this particular part of the ground. You must learn from experiences happening around you. You do not have to pass through this similar experience to learn. Listening to other people, as what Reem explained, is
learning. To refute this argument, some people would say that when you're too self-confident, that you are going through the right path, this is the right way to go, this is the right way to dress, you don't even listen to others.
But that's the difference between self-confidence and arrogance or selfishness. So this is the line. If you are listening to people and checking out what suits you and what not, this is self-confidence. If you don't listen to people and I don't care about these people and I only care about myself and this is what I know, this is what I'm going to do, this is something else. This is not self-confidence. This is arrogance. And arrogance is not a healthy emotion or not a healthy state. So this is the difference between the two.
Great. So basically you all agree that self-confidence per se, the way it was defined among us now, is positive, but if it steps further into the arrogant segment,
then you know that you're wrong.
This is wrong. Great. You want to add something, Reem, about the importance of self-confidence?
Yes, I want to add that people should know exactly whether they are the good points about themselves and the bad points about themselves, because if they know themselves very well, criticism will not affect them. And this is the problem with self-confidence. A lot of people, they get back to me with the feedback that criticism is very, they can't handle it. And the key to handling criticism is knowing yourself very well. So when you listen to people criticizing you, you're either learning from them and changing yourself, or ignoring what they're saying in case you know very well that this is not, a part of you.
All right, and again, it all boils down to what you really believe and how you perceive yourself.
Yes.
And
yes, true.
Self-confidence. Again, what's the counter state? If people lack confidence, what would you believe are the reasons behind this, deficiency in their personality?
That's a very good question. I think the main reason behind lack of self-confidence is false beliefs. The difference between a confident person and a non-confident person is that both of them have been through very bad, bad life experiences. They've all been through bad situations, but a self-confident person is a person who decided to get up, learn from the experience, forget about it, and move on.
A survival.
Yeah, exactly. A person who decided to learn and just move on. We all been through bad experiences. A person who lacks bad self-confidence, however, is a person who is still living in this bad experience and decided not to move on, but rather, create a false. And he decided to stay in this state forever.
When it comes to deserving the best, I think all parents try to do their utmost to make their children happy. It's just that there is this misconception or the line that they don't know where to draw between teaching them or educating them or bringing up those good principles
and spoiling.
And spoiling or being too extreme.
Yes.
Yes, actually, there is a line that should be drawn between spoiling and encouraging young children. Yet, self-confidence, I believe, is built from the first day the child is born. Maybe from the first day the child is aware and is a person in the community. Actually, building up self-confidence is not an easy job parents should really take care of. They really should know how to punish, how to enforce some rules, how to encourage as well, how to treat, how to prize something the child does. Everything, single thing we do with a child counts and builds up to his personality maybe 20 years later.
Reem, you want to add
Yes,
something?
I definitely want to add something to what Mustafa said. Yes, it does